What is going on, everybody? We got another fun one here. So I just plugged in to ChatGPT. What are the top 5 healthiest alcoholic beverages according to science? And first off, it said, so when it comes to alcoholic beverages, healthiest is a relative term. Obviously, we know you're not technically being healthy by drinking alcoholic beverages, but I would also argue that by doing it in moderation, it can help certain people, maybe like with stress, social situations, like enjoy, like if you wanted to enjoy like talking with, friends and family and a part of like a dinner and stuff like that. I think it can actually have some benefits for you as well. But I'm going to have Matt guess. We'll see how this man does on the top 5 of these. What do you got for me? What do you think?
Probably, I mean, the first one that comes to mind is some sort of vodka diet soda mix would be like my guess.
There you go. So you
Yeah,
got number 5, vodka with soda water and lime is what it
yeah.
says. So
That's
it,
if I'm gonna order something like, and I'm not the drinker, by the way, but like if I order something, it's gonna be something along the lines of that, or like maybe even a gin and tonic, which is fairly similar, like.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. No, this says low in calories and sugar, so about 65 to 70 calories per shot. So mixing it with soda water and stuff like that is going to just avoid those sugary mixers,
yep,
and it just minimizes the ingredients, right? Like a lot of things, they're just loaded with different ingredients and sugars and stuff like that. And so that's one of those where, yeah, if you're gonna have some drinks, like this can be a good option for you if you like that kind of thing, to minimize the calories that you're getting from alcohol. Because a lot of times when it comes to alcohol, the reason why it can be difficult is that people just drink things that are so high in calories, and then by the time you're done with drinking for the night, you're 1,500, 2,000 calories in, even from potentially just a few drinks, right?
yeah.
So it is something to keep in mind there. So that's number 5. What do you got for me? What else do you think is on this list?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the lowest calorie alcohol, but honestly, I don't even know what that is. Would it be
Okay. Well,
whiskey? I don't know.
no, so I'll just rip through this. So we'll go number
Yeah,
4 and we can just talk about it a little bit.
yeah.
Tequila. So it says 100%
Oh,
agave tequila. So I am not much of a tequila drinker personally. Uh,
yeah,
it's never been something that I've been extremely a fan of. I just think it
yeah.
doesn't taste great. And not to say that like if mixed with certain things it can't, but this says so low in sugar. So if it's sipped straight, so if you're a straight tequila person, which I know that there's actually plenty of people out there that are, and it
Right.
says made from the agave plant, which contains insulin or inulin, which is a prebiotic fiber. And
Mm.
it also says that it may aid in digestion and cause less of a blood sugar spike compared to other liquors.
No, I could see
There's not a
that.
lot of evidence on that, but just some of the things that it kind of listed amongst there. So like, if you do like tequila, and I've heard that before from like vodka tequila can be two of like the lower sugar type of liquors. But yeah, just I think when it comes to any of this, keeping in mind that like what you're mixing things with is going to be a huge piece of the pie. Like
Hmm.
if you're mixing it with, sugary like pop sodas, whatever, it's probably going to not help you as much. You probably won't feel as good the next day as opposed to like, if you're going to have it, maybe doing it straight or having like soda or diet soda, like tonic, like stuff like that. That's going to be a little bit more beneficial.
Yeah. I bet
Next.
you it matters also too, like the quality of tequila, right? Like if I know there's super expensive tequilas out there. Like I'm sure it has a difference with, the quality of tequila that you're consuming as well.
Oh yeah, I think that's why it said 100% agave. I
Yeah.
don't necessarily know what that
Yeah.
means, but it says tequila 100% agave. I would imagine that's probably higher quality tequila,
Yeah.
if I would guess. So that's number 4. Number 3 is light beer, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Some natty lights, like something that is going to be, again, less in calories. I think the big thing with this too is like figuring out with you individually, if you are somebody who's committed to drinking, is figure out the one that isn't going to have you go crazy and have like the late night munchies and the binges later, right? Like if every time you drink something and you're just like, dude, we're pulling up to Taco Bell, we're pulling up to Jack in the Box at like, midnight or it's early in the morning. Like if you know that's you, then like figure out which one is going to have you not do that, right? Because it's not necessarily the calories that are consumed just by the drinks. It's great that there's like light beer and things like that, but it's what you consume while you're under the influence, where you're just mindlessly just starving and you're like, I'm going to eat everything in sight. And there's no regard here for anything that you're consuming, and you're just kind of like a trash can and you're eating everything. Like that's where you really have to figure out and have a little bit more self-control. If your goal is to control your weight, improve your health, and you're still going to choose to include alcohol, I'd figure out which ones are going to allow you, to not do that, right? Or at least mitigate that. So if there's something that you drink where you're just like, man, every time I have that, I just go crazy. Like we're instantly at the drive-through, or we're on DoorDash, or whatever it is. Like, just having that kind of awareness, I think will be helpful.
No, I think you're right. And it comes down to moderation at the end of the day too. Like, not to say that there's not certain times when, you can go a little crazy, but if that's every time, then it's
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
happen. Right. Like, so I think like Marissa and I, we do, um, we drink some wine throughout the week,
Yeah.
and we'll have like White Claws. Like those are really the only things that I drink.
Yeah.
Um, is
Is that
wine.
on there? Is that on the list or no?
Yeah. So wine, to give you an idea, so light beer, obviously, like just to go through that quickly. Yeah, lower calorie than heavier beers, right? Your Bud Lights, your Coors Lights, your Mid Golden Lights, like all of those light beers are. If you enjoy drinking that, then that could be a good thing. Like Matt said, if something makes you go crazy, then it's probably not great. But yeah, red wine's number one.
Mm.
So red wine is number one on this list. It says rich in polyphenols like resveratrol and flavonoids. It says there's cardiovascular benefits linked to lower risk of heart disease in moderate drinkers, and then antioxidant properties can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. So obviously in moderation. I've actually
Yeah. Moderate drinkers.
exactly like a glass or two
Yeah.
is what it says. And actually like there's like cultures in Europe that are like extremely healthy, and even some of the blue zones where they've talked about like they moderately drink red wine, and like that
Yeah.
it can be beneficial. Moderate is the key word there, right? If you're like probably not going to be beneficial, but that's what we do. We're more of like the white wine, red wine people, and that's kind of along the lines of number two as well, champagne or sparkling wine.
Mm.
Um, and so I would maybe think that like the sparkling water stuff is probably in the same category as that in some respect,
Yeah.
where a lot of that's lower in sugar, lower in calories. This just talks about kind of contains polyphenols similar to red wine, lower in calories than most wines or cocktails, about 90 to 100 calories per glass. It talks about may improve memory and cognitive function, which is, I don't know how that's possible, but
Mm.
that's according to preliminary studies on phenolic content, which I don't know what that means. But
Yeah.
all this stuff just comes down to, again, like find something that you can be moderate with. Now that's going to be different for everybody. Make sure, avoiding like sugary mixers, like high alcohol content stuff. And then, make sure you're mixing in water. Like, I think that's a huge thing that a lot of people miss where, you just don't drink any water. Like if you're going to have a day where you're going out drinking a little bit, mix in a water in between, find something that you can stick to. I've always found, mostly from Marissa, that it's like, if we like kind of have a day we're going to drink a little bit, we always like stick to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Generally it's like wine. We'll have a few White Claws, like have a few glasses of wine, whatever it is. Like we just like to do that and enjoy it. Like enjoy a movie, have a few glasses. Like that's just kind of something that we've mixed in. And again, like it's not like, generally speaking, if your goal is to like lose weight, you can definitely include alcohol in and be successful, but it's going to be a lot harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna make it a lot harder. But if you're doing it in a moderate way, like if you really are like having a few glasses of wine throughout the week, like you can easily do that. You just got to account for it. A lot of times people don't account for it in their plan, and then they wonder why they're not seeing the results, because they'll have, they'll be great throughout the week. This was me. Like I used to be great throughout the week, and then the week would come and I would go crazy. And it's like,
Yeah.
you completely negate all of the work that you did through one night, right? Of
Yeah.
drinking a little bit excessively, but also a lot of times what's linked to that excessive drinking is the excessive eating and that kind of stuff. So, anything else to add here, Matt?
No, man, that's it. I think it's just having that self awareness and knowing yourself the best that you possibly can, what works well for you, what still allows you to enjoy yourself if you choose to, consume alcohol. Katie's grandma, I think, is in her 90s and she drinks wine every day. So it's like,
There you go.
it's one of those things that like, and then she had we just got her to cancel one of Katie's not gym membership, winery memberships, right? So she was part of two of them. And so that's where I would drink wine, is we'll go to the different wineries and test out different wines and stuff. But like, yeah, man, I think it's a great way to socialize, to enjoy yourself, especially if that is your thing and you enjoy it. Great. But again, everything in moderation. The second you start to abuse it or it starts to control you, again, having that self-awareness and knowing, okay, am I putting myself in situations that isn't going to be beneficial for me? Can I make different decisions here? Right. And so it comes down to that self-awareness. But hopefully this was helpful. If you are in that ballpark or you do have certain drinks that you like to go to, we'd love to hear, and go ahead and comment. And what's your go-to drink that may be a little bit more calorie friendly, or your go-to that still allows you to keep good self-control? Or if you felt like this was beneficial and one of your friends or family members needs to hear it too, all we ask is that you share it with them. And we will catch you guys on the next episode.